Hey guys, today's video we're going to be doing something a little different. Keith brought his airboat up here to Georgia from South Florida, and he's planning on doing a refit and put a new engine in and a bunch of other stuff. So let's show you what he's going to do, and let's watch it happen right in front of your eyes. So let's get to it. All right, Keith, show me what you plan on doing with this boat.
Well, we're gonna fire it up as soon as the battery gets charged, and dump some transmission fluid through the motor just so when it sits it doesn't get all rusty inside there, and then pull the cage, then turn around and pull the motor, and take some of the sea deck off, stuff like that, and peel the paint and redo the paint, and put a new motor in it.
Okay, so let's take a look at the sea deck situation. So this is just your typical sea deck, but it's well worn, and it's time for an upgrade, maybe a color change, and of course the paint. You can see the paint starting to rub off, and it's all faded, and so you plan on doing a little bit of painting and
Yep,
and cleaning up the hull.
Paint the sides. Going to change that probably to a different color.
Yep.
So instead of black, we'll do red maybe, and go from there. Paint the seats.
Yep.
You know, stuff like that, and we should be good.
Okay. So the first step is going to be taking that cage off, and you know, getting that out of the way so you can change out the motor, and then it will be just more of the general looks of it. You know, once you get that engine done, there's not a whole lot of mechanical left to do that you're planning on doing. It's just going to be kind of a visual thing, and you're gonna make the boat look pretty again.
Yep.
Great.
That's good.
All right, guys, let's take a closer look at the boat. As you can see, you know, it definitely needs some paint touch up and all that kind of stuff. You know, the engine has been a good engine. It just doesn't have the horsepower that the new one has, and so that's going to make a big difference. So let's check out the new engine.
All right, tell me about this motor.
So we got a small block 454 with 578 horsepower and 582 foot-pounds of torque going in this airboat. Should be double what we had.
Nice, nice. Okay, so tell me about the old motor that we're replacing here.
Basically, it's a 350 cubic inch motor that just had some Corvette heads on it. Possibly 250 horse, maybe, something like that. So I'm going to say. It's hard to tell. Never had a dyno, so don't know, but probably going to say half.
Well, for everyone who is wondering why Keith is changing out his motor, this is the reason here. Last year at Camp Mac, we had 3 people on the boat, and the boat would not drive over the dry ground. It's too heavy of a boat, too big of a boat, and didn't have enough horsepower. And so Keith decided then that he was going to up the horsepower and you know, make sure that this doesn't happen again.
All right. All right, so you warmed up the engine so you can put some tranny in it and,
Yes.
and kind of preserve the old engine?
Yes, just in case I want to use this ever again on something else or another airboat or whatever, I can save it and it'll be in good shape inside the cylinders. Yep.
Good. So what do we have on top of the carburetor here?
Some mud daubers, looks like.
Yeah, that's what happens when you let the boat sit for a while, I guess.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so I guess the new motor will fit in this motor mount situation on the old motor, or do you have to change that up?
Nope. It's a small block, same as this, from a 283 all the way to the obviously a 454 now. Is all the same engine, same block, same basic, you know, outer diameters, and it fits from all the way up to all the way from 283 to 454. So
Okay.
it'll all bolt up the exact same way. All the pulleys will work, and we should be good.
The headers will bolt right
Headers will
on?
bolt right up. Yep, same exact ports on the heads, everything.
Great.
Yep. Oh boy. Drop my chalupa.
How many bolts do you think hold this thing together?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10.
About 10 bolts?
Bolts.
Yep.
Yep. 7/16.
No, it's got its own thread. It's whatever this bracket is.
That's got a nut though.
It don't look like a nut to me. Maybe it is.
It's time for new glasses.
Yeah, huh?
And it starts.
That's it.
And he's got that on tape.
So you got the linkage off the
Yep.
I guess after a few years things kind of aren't too easy to get off anymore. There you go. So what are you taking off there, Brian?
I'll do all the cage stuff in one. Yep.
Radiator overflow tank, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
We're all loose?
All loose as far as I can tell. You should be able to come up and up.
So what's the game plan pulling this cage off?
I'm gonna wrap a strap around the tip of the cage up there and pull it off on my lull and raise it straight up, hopefully.
Great.
Yep.
All right, we successfully got the cage off, and he's wanting to stick it inside the shop. So we'll see if that will work or not. We'll find out here in a minute.
on both? I can't see this.
Yeah, yeah, you're on both. Yep.
Okay. Are you stuck in there?
Yep.
Suck it in, fat boy.
Yep.
All right, you got it in.
Yep.
Nice.
Barely. Did you see the light?
No.
The light was like that far from hitting the
Oh.
door. The top. So we were close to the bottom.
Nice. Taking the blade off is not too difficult. And that's 3 separate blades.
You want to break the whole blade assembly down? Or
It's gonna, yeah, this whole cover's gonna come off and all 3 blades are gonna be loose, so let me.
Right. This is holding it to the middle. If we
Yes.
left these, the blade would stay as one piece. Do we want to do that, or
No,
do we want to break it down?
Yeah, break it down.
Okay.
Yep.
You got the blade, right?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so your next thing to do here is to drain the radiator.
Yep.
We're just going to take them and lay them down.
Yep. So now it's just a matter of disconnecting some wires and unbolting the motor mounts, and then pulling her up.
The way the throttle linkage is set up, we probably should just take the carburetor right off the top because it's underneath. The bracketry is underneath.
Gotcha.
And we would have to either loosen these specialized bolts here, or I think it would be just easier to take the car off.
Yep.
And now you're taking off the carburetor because there's some brackets that are kind of intertwined or underneath the carburetor.
Correct. What holds the throttle linkage is underneath the carburetor base, so pull the carburetor up in order to get that linkage out of there.
And that's the throttle linkage there. Yep.
Correct. What about the rotator?
What?
3/4?
Yeah, I got it here. Pull that wrench in there. Should be. Nope. All right. Let's see if I can get it. You got it? There's that.
So it's ready to go. Just hook a chain up and pull it.
That's it.
All right.
Just hang on.
The engine came out real nice and easy.
And this is when that smart idea of don't do the, you know, the lip on the garage door. This is when that comes in perfect. Because otherwise you're going to wheel it up and you hit the thing and boom, off it comes.
Yeah.
Every time.
You talking about that no lip there?
Yeah, that no lip.
That no lip, yep.
We had it at the shop up there. Every time we put something in, fall off whatever we were having on.
Ah.
One down.
Yep, one down.
One down.
That was pretty smooth, actually. Not too many problems. That was good. All right, so what are we doing here?
I'm gonna put some paint remover on, try and get all this removed off of here, so it's just all aluminum and looks better.
What kind of paint remover are you using?
Aircraft.
Aircraft, okay.
Yep.
Comes out in a gel form. Yep. How long do you think you have to let it sit on there?
It says 15 minutes, but we're gonna go to lunch, and that could be a little while.
Yeah, it could be a little while. Yeah. All right, well, we'll let you get that on there, and then after lunch, we'll scrape some off, maybe.
Yep.
Okay, so we're back from lunch, and now we are trying to scrape it off and see what we got. Coming off pretty easy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just using a plastic scraper. Yeah, it's coming right off. All right, so now what are we gonna do?
I'm gonna try this air scraper and scrape off the sea deck.
All right.
Let's see what happens.
All right, so we tried the one scraper. Now we're going to try an oscillating tool and see what that will do. All right, so which way do you think is going better?
I think it's going better with this. Yes.
The oscillating tool?
Oscillating
Seems like it's taking it off quicker, and like there's less of the black stuff left on there, so there's it's cleaning it off all the way down to the aluminum. So yeah, I think the oscillating tool is the way to go.
Yep.
All right, so now what are you setting up for?
Sand the top of this right here.
Yep,
There you
something
go.
on it.
Light.
All right, we're here at Keith's taking a look at what he's got done on the airboat so far. So tell us what you've been able to get done here.
Well, peeled off the old sea deck and sanded all the stuff off. They had like rhino liner or something on there. Got all that off of there. Basically, I just still have to take a little lacquer thinners and get all that off, and it'll look like this here. And then we're going to have the new sea deck put on. I'll polish the edges here where the sea deck might not go, and you might be able to see this. I'll polish all this aluminum, have it come up to here with sea deck from here to here, and then on the sides the same thing, just the panels there. Leave this open, polish this, have the sea deck go from here and wrap it up in the front there to cover up whatever that slag from the welding and whatever is done. So
Okay, how tough has it been so far getting this stuff off?
pretty tough. That actually, like the rhino liner or whatever that he had underneath there was the toughest stuff to get off. The paint came off pretty easy, but obviously you see it still has some left. So after using the stripper and whatever, it still has, it's pretty tough. So when I peeled this off, this came off with the primer came right off, and this was all aluminum. As you can see, I didn't sand on any of that or scrape any of that. So very little stayed where you see the black marks here. Very little of the, basically the rhino liner stuck to the paint, and then the paint peeled off, and this was the only part that stayed. Just a few little pieces. So I want the new stuff to stick to the aluminum, not the paint, say. So if the paint peels, the sea deck comes off with the paint, you know. So I want it to go right to the aluminum. So.
Good, looks good. Looks like got a lot done on it.
Yep. All of this was black paint right here, so we got all of this off, and I'll polish it to make it look, you know, shiny like the bottom, and then just leave it. And I'm not going to paint it again. If anything, maybe I'll do the vinyl side where they
Wrap?
wrap. Yep.
Wrap
Yep,
or a
there you
decal.
go. Yeah, decal wrap, something
Yep.
like that.
Good. You got a lot done.
This concludes part 1 of our 2-part video. In part 2, we will be installing the new engine, breaking it in, and installing the sea deck on the airboat. We will also be putting it to the test when we take it down to Kissimmee, Florida, where Keith originally had a problem on dry land.